Hello there. Today I'm here to talk about First Reformed, which is a new Paul Schrader film. I've got the dark background again. That's because this is an austere film. It's a film uh, based on the ideas of like the Bresson movies, where there's not much ornamentation of the imagery. Everything is very spare. There's not much music. There's more music in this than there is in a Bresson film. Too much actually, but everything is very much a austere film. It's just the whole idea of it is not to show obvious signs of emotion, obvious signs of obvious displays of like melodramatic situations and emotions, and it's so the music's not driving you, the situations of the melodrama's not driving you. It's watching people who are not reacting much to the situation and interpreting that in a way that's interesting, so it feels like you're watching life and you're watching people rather than getting pumped up by the film technique and having an elevated thing where you're watching something but the actual filmmaking the thing that's getting you through it, so you're not actually noticing that the ideas are trite. That's the big thing that the austere directors hate, because Hollywood has that in like 90% of the films, where they're just like, they just throw pretty images at the screen and hope for the best. I mean, that's been Hollywood all the way through. I mean, it's like, and that's why that house rejects Hollywood so badly. It's like, you just throw this stuff up and it doesn't mean anything. You're just like, there's no meaning to anything you're doing. There's no substance. There's nothing soulful about it. And transcendence and that kind of element in film is all about what are the basic, stories, what are the basic emotions in human beings, and why do they affect us, and why are they important to focus upon. Now, some of these are some of my favourite films, the transcendental films. I mean, they're really, they're wonderful. And Schrader has had a very complicated reaction to this, because Schrader wrote transcendental films in the 1970s, and a lot of his films have an influence of Bresson, like Taxi Driver, American Gigolo, Light Sleeper, and this one. There's another one called A Walker, which wasn't successful a few years ago as well. But there's been 4 really good ones in this idea of the kind of the character who denies himself. There's voiceover. He's in a world where he's trying to work everything out. There's different characters. He can't trust anyone. He's trying to find something to hang on to that will give his life purpose. And that's some of Schrader's best films. They're very personal films, but Schrader isn't an austere director. I mean, he's really not. He likes the flesh and the nudity and the colours, these colour schemes. I mean, American Gigolo was famously stylish film, that influenced Michael Mann, influenced Miami Vice, because I mean, that came out, then Scarface came out, and then Miami Vice came out, and those 3 films, the 2 films in the TV show were like that style that moved through the 80s. So he's very influenced by the emotions of this, but he's also very interested in the superficialities of human beings, So, like Taxi Driver is about someone who can't get on with people. He's just a social misfit who's responding to situations in a very violent way, the way you see a lot of these crazy people with guns now. Then American Gigolo is about a guy who is very successful but very smooth with people, but there's no real connection. No one actually likes him, but he's just very superficial, but he can get on with people. But there's no real connection. So it's the style of the world is the thing that he has to kind of kick through to actually get somewhere in his life. Then Light Sleeper is a guy who's a drug dealer, and who's communications with other drug dealers with his clients who are on drugs, and it's all a bit self-hatred of what he's doing, but there's no way out for him. There's nothing he wants to do that will give his life meaning. There's nothing outside of crime that he can get involved with. And now in this one, it's the most austere character in this, which is a priest. And in this priest, his son volunteered to go into Iraq and died, and he pushed him to that. And now he's back being a priest, and he's in the... Oh, he's a minister. Sorry. All these religious things confuse me a little bit. I haven't been to church for years. So he's a minister, and he's so his son is dead. His marriage has collapsed. He feels disconnected. He's health problems. He's drinking too much, and he's written a diary. And a lot of Schrader characters write a diary, describing their thoughts, describing what's causing them to not sleep, to not be able to eat, what's causing their rotting of their soul. And he's like, so he should be the character who's the person who should be able to guide these other people, these other Schrader characters to the light. But he's the most messed up of them all in some ways. He's ready to do anything to make him make sense of the world. So the general story is a character who this woman talks to him after one of his services, her husband, who's just out of jail for being a protester, because this guy's a pro-planet guy. He's saying the world's going to end soon because of what we're doing to the planet, and he's just angstful about it. So the lead character is played by Ethan Hawke. He goes to talk to the guy and tries to help him out, but the guy's too far gone. There's nothing you can do for him. This guy's just, the world and what's happened to it has just under his skin, and there's no way he can, get out of that. He just feels trapped by the world. The world he sees there's no way out for the world. He just sees it as something that's a cesspool. There's no hope for the future. We're all going to die horribly because the world's getting poisoned by us. And this affects off Ethan Hawke's character, and after the guy commits suicide, he starts to question his own motives and his church motives, because they're tied in with a company who's put money into the church and its restoration, who are also big polluters. So you see the Ethan Hawke character wrestling with that, and wrestling with his sense of his own sin for his death of his son, and wrestling with the way the world is just corrupt and the way institutions are corrupt. And that's the film. I don't want to say much more about where it goes, but the film is all about how do you respond to the world? How do you deal with the world it just feels so locked in to its own debased needs, no one cares that much about each other unless you're a close friend. And then when people try and help you, you react horribly to them. So it's not just them that are the problem, it's Ethan Hawke's character as well, because he reacts badly to some people who try to help him. As if he thinks he doesn't deserve help, as if he thinks he should go to hell for his past mistakes. And it's just wonderful. I mean, the funny thing is, this film's so intense. It's really, you think about this guy who's a minister, you think it would be that intense. In fact, there's no music, there's very little music. Everything's a 4:3 ratio, so it's very stylised. It's very stylised to be non-stylised. It's like everything's been planned out, so it's not a non-stylised film. But it's Paul Schrader directing it, so he can't help himself but be stylised in his non-stylisation, which is perfect for the film. Because it's the same way that Bresson, it was a famous non-stylist, but if you actually look at his sense of composition, everything's stylised. There's no such thing as a non-stylist. There's, even if you're trying to avoid the over elaborations of certain directors, you still, even your simplicity is still stylization. And the really good thing about Schrader is he knows, he's so self-aware of his own manipulations, and his characters are so self-aware of their own manipulations, that it bleeds through the film and gives it this intensity. So you have this, a lot of the time you're on Ethan Hawke who's not reacting to a lot of things. He's one of his best performances, he's very contained, he will not react in a voiceover or in the scenes in a very emotional way, but you can see behind his eyes and the little subtle things it is really affecting him. It's really under his skin. I mean, this big thing is the difference between like Schrader and Bresson. Bresson had non-actors, and Schrader has actors who knows what they're doing, but then he hires them to limit themselves and then use the limitations as a way to springboard for the motion. So Schrader and Bresson are very different directors. Even though Schrader is hung to Bresson the way De Palma is to Hitchcock, like there's a link there, but going into the obvious thing is not where it's interesting. It's like it's where they depart from each other is where it's interesting. It's like they've hooked into something that the other director that has an emotional impact on them, but then it's what they do with that is very different. You know, so this film, while it seems to be very spare, it's not. It's very intense in a way that Bresson would never allow his films to. Like Bresson had one lens he'd always use, no music at all, and he'd pace everything in a very spare way, so the pace wouldn't go up and down as much as most other films. Then you had to find things within the image and hook onto it. Schrader allows his camera, he's very spare in this film, but he allows things to move a bit more, and it doesn't feel like a Bresson film even, but it's very intense because he's using a lot of the same techniques though of you can't be over emotional, you can't say things in a elaborate way, it has to be spare, but the way it's done is still a very Schrader's thing, still neurotic in a way that Bresson would never be, the way Schrader is though. And the lead character is so trying to be helpful to people in the first half of the movie before he starts to question himself very deeply. And he's so swayed by emotion that this is there in a way that Bresson never really allow, even though he's not seeming to be acting so much. And then the more he goes on, the more you see that the Hawke character is trying to find, you know, something to hold on to that's not, you know, it's something that's ill-defined. He really is hating himself what happened to his son. So he's trying to find somewhere to move on to in the future, a future of some sort, or about lack of future. It's like, it's one of those things, it's like, where do you go in your life? That's the point of the film is. It's like, but someone like him, he can't figure himself out at all. He's so unaware of his own problems. He's like, he's so encased in his own pain that he can't quite break out of that. The way a lot of people can't. I mean, they can't talk to anyone who can just point out the obvious thing to them, that what the problem is. So it becomes a very emotional film throughout. I mean, this is, for me, this is Schrader's best film for years. It really delivers. It's really emotional. I mean, I can't really talk about it because I'll give away the ending. I don't want to give away the ending. But it really builds and builds and builds to something really unique at the end. That's really like a great summary of Schrader's career and his obsessions. It really delivers in a way that's completely Schrader. You know, it's his obsessions in this film, and it's really good. There's an influence, but the influence doesn't take over. It's still a Schrader film, and this is probably my favourite film of the year. But I'm still processing it because I only saw it recently. But it's a beautiful film. It's really worth seeing. But I'm trying not to give away too much. There's certain things even the first half I haven't said, because it's the way you see people reacting within the frame and to each other that's so important. I mean, there's some characters I haven't even mentioned that are important. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back soon. So I'll see you later.